Okay, in this video, I'm talking about a topic that a lot of people debate on the online space. Should you niche down, or as the Americans call it, the niches? Should you look for the riches in the niches? Now, I'm going to speak from my experience here. I'm going to show you a simple framework that would have saved me a lot of time and I would have earned a lot more money quicker. I have just changed my mindset and my limited beliefs around this. So let's get stuck in. First things first is I'm going to talk about the major problems that all service businesses have and why you should probably go broad or broader now, given the fact that AI and there's so much other business support out there and tools and resources. You are well equipped to go broad now. And this is from someone who has been narrow in one sector for, well, the same industry for now over 10 years. So first things first is obviously what I'm going to talk about here is relating to service businesses. Now, it's best to actually understand what a service business is. A service business is any business where someone books you, calls you, or walks into your business. Now, if you're an online business, they book you, they book your time, you give them a service, or you call them, they call you, and you have a call, and you have a sales process. So this is like trades, clinics, salons, gyms, garages, agents, accountants. It doesn't matter. All of these service businesses qualify. Now, very quickly to give you the rundown on me, I did 8 years of personal training. So in that, I helped mostly females, but I did have a good few male clients as well. So I guess you could say my niche was female fat loss, female transformations. This was before the world of a lot of help that's out there where people are now very, very niched. So you see people who, like this, for example, they maybe go female, but they go females 25 to 45, but they also go like with PCOS or binge eating and things like that. So they go even narrower and narrower and narrower again. And I'll go on to talk about the pros and cons of niching. So anyway, 8 years of personal training, 4 years helping personal trainers and online coaches, and 1 year going broad. So this is kind of where I'm at in the journey. I haven't always been broad. I don't want you to think that I'm sitting here on my high horse saying, why you're niching down, you shouldn't be niched. But I think if someone came and told me a few years back, it would have given me permission to go broader and in turn made more money. So here's the advice that's getting given out right now. It's, you pick one trade, pick one lane, and you pursue them. The riches are in the niches, as the Americans say. You can't be for everyone. Own a category or die. And as you can see here, I have the MRR agency. That is my category, MRR, recurring revenue. But as we all know, recurring revenue isn't just for coaches and fitness businesses. It's for any business, SaaS, software, services, everything. And so every agency says this, and almost none of them can tell you why. Now, there's a big reason that they say you should do it, right? One of them is so that you're laser targeted in on like a specific target market. So if you think of all these problems over here, the struggles that people face, you want to target in on the people here so that your message gets heard and it cuts through the noise. That's the big argument. It's just easy to talk to the struggles and problems and frustrations of that market. But that advice of just going narrow is probably more suited to newbies. It's more suited for relatability. So for example, I was a personal trainer and I went through my own fitness journey. So I started helping people lose fat, build muscle, those types of things. And then I grew a successful personal training business. And it was like, well, I know how to do this. I've just done it. Okay, let's help personal trainers and online coaches. So you can see the natural segue from, I guess, B2C to B2B, helping business to consumer, business to customer, and then moving to business. And so this, coming back to the advice here, it's for newbies, it's for relatability, and it's for people who haven't stacked enough skills yet. And in my opinion, once you get experienced, once you have broad relatability, so for example, I used to speak to personal trainers and coaches and say, oh, when I struggled when I worked in a commercial gym, here's what I tried. Here's how I understand how management is. I understand how hard it is to stop people on the gym floor and get clients. I know what it's like to pick people up from your classes and, get them to chat to you after the class. And so that relatability makes you go, I believe in this person. But over time, you get broader relatability. Business struggles, sales struggles, presenting your offer, delivering a service, burnout. All of these things are broad relatability. You don't need to be, but I was in the gym or I walked here. And so we've got clients who I understand when their marketing stalls and what their constraint is in their marketing, not because I've owned a real estate company, but understand marketing psychology and understand marketing as a whole. And so that broad relatability transfers over. And then a really, really important one is stacking skills. So like if I'm helping personal trainers and coaches become better personal trainers, I'm going to stay in that lane and I'm not going to go wider. But if I help personal trainers and coaches with their ads, with their service delivery, with their onboarding, with their systems, with all of these things that aren't business industry specific, they're actually just broad skills. And if I go away and learn how to run ads on Meta, Google, how to write email marketing content that say it converts, all of these things add up to me stacking skills. And so these skills are transferable. Now, there's always industry nuance, of course, but it transfers over the majority. And this means that most businesses are the same. And I'm going to go and prove it in a sec. So we move over here to number 3, and this is the Iceberg Framework that I have shared on the channel before. If you want an in-depth video on it, you will see it in the channel, so you can go and have a look. But essentially, a joiner, a dog groomer, and a gym owner lose money and make money in the same ways. Okay, so the examples I've given here is clients that I've got: real estate, gyms, home improvement, and dog grooming. And so back in the day when I was only helping personal trainers, if someone came to me in real estate, I'd be like, I have no clue about real estate. But once we actually speak to the real estate business owner and say, well, what is it you need? It's like, well, we need ads running. We need to run ads. It's like, okay, but I really don't know what to say in these ads. It's like, well, ask the business owner, what's their offer? What makes them different? Right, you've been in your business 25 years and you're the only one in the region who's been in business that long. Have you ever run ads? Nope. Okay, so let's see organic content. Okay, what performs well? What angle performs well? Well, when we play the early retirement angle. Okay, let's run that on ads. Do we know how to press the buttons in the back end? Yep. I'm pretty sure we can run ads for this company then. And so the reason I show you this iceberg is every business, every service business, they might not do all of these, but this is what they need to focus on. So they have Meta or Google ads running, or they might start to. They have Instagram or Facebook content, maybe LinkedIn as well. And that's the tip of the iceberg because that's what the customer sees more obviously. Then as we move to just above visibility is your Google listing and then your AI visibility. And then below the iceberg is the stuff that most business owners don't like doing. Speed to lead, how quick they contact leads, lead nurturing, database reactivation, missed call text back, SEO, and referrals. And finally, the most important piece, the website that the core of it all stands on. I'll explain these in a little bit more detail in a sec. But can you admit, if you're watching this, and understand that you notice how none of this is industry specific? It's all best practices in business as a service business. And I'll explain this a little bit more simply. So when a business comes on board with us, we just do an audit. The first thing any business needs, because if they don't get found, they don't get customers. So they need to get found. And you can get found a lot of ways, but really it's like your Google listing. People Google you. AI visibility, people search on ChatGPT and these tools, for your specific use case, or for an outcome that requires a service to get that outcome. SEO, website. So these are how people find you. There could be like handing out leaflets and all these types of things, referrals and all that, which we'll cover in a minute. But if you don't come up when someone searches, nothing else you do gets a chance. It doesn't matter how great you are at what you do. I'm sure we can all relate to the fact that there is businesses out there that we have been frustrated at in the past who have got busier than us, more clients or customers than us, when we know we're better than them. And for some reason, they've just got discovered more than you in some way. Next is replying fast. So if we get discovered, how quick do we message these people given today's short attention span market? Missed call text back. So if we miss a call, let's say your business requires phone calls from customers and we miss a call, do they just pick up the next person on Google and then you've missed that business? Or do we text them back and arrange a conversation so that you can then propose to them a deal? Most replies take hours. You only have to look at the stats on service businesses on the reply rates. It's absolutely shocking. And so by then they've booked someone else. So we need to reply to these people once they've discovered us. Next, we need to follow up. So okay, they've discovered us. We reply to them. We all know people just ignore you. They wait 2-3 days. They're busy. Life gets in the way. And so most businesses only reply once. They never contact these people again. And there's so much money sitting on the businesses we work with's inbox. And so inquired once, never contacted again. We all know the cheapest customers you'll ever get are already in your database. They already know you. They've had at least 1 or 2 touch points with you. And then getting chosen. So, okay, we're following up, finally chatting to them. This is when your offer kicks in and stuff. But if we think of your ads, reviews and referrals, what makes them choose you? What makes them sign that dotted line? It's typically trust. you're a good offer, but it's also trust. I trust these people. Whether that's I trust these people to come to my house and do the physical manual labour to transform my house or renovate it, or I trust going and meeting this person for a session or on a call and telling them my deepest, darkest secrets, whatever the service you provide is. And so two businesses, the same price, same distance. The one with more reviews will always get that call and win. So that's it in a nutshell. That's the simpler version of all of this. And so where niching holds up, the rules you have to follow are different. And so for me, I realised, like, do you know what? I can help these gyms and I can help these other businesses just all the same. And people take months to decide instead of days. If it's a really different buying cycle with these businesses, and you need one specific case study to get in the door. Let's just say, I wanted to get a real estate company and help them with something, and then I could go away and target some real estate companies. But for me, I think it's better to go broad in today's world. Now, another big thing that people say about going broad is that your fulfillment is going to be a lot. You're going to be pulled left, right, and centre. Everything's custom, but that's just a bullshit excuse they give for not wanting to do the work. To me, there's a lot of custom elements to all clients. But once it's custom and you've got good processes in place and tried and tested frameworks like this, it's repeatable. And so you wouldn't niche when the problem is the same and only one thing changes. And so that's pretty much it that I wanted to drill home. And the reason I'm telling you this, as maybe you're someone who is thinking about getting help and maybe they haven't been in your industry, I just understand that if there's plenty of results out there, it might actually be worth it. And also for people realising that if you're sitting there only serving one industry and you could go a lot more broad and grow and develop and challenge yourself, then I want to give you permission, because I wish somebody said it to me many years ago. It's not that I don't want to help personal trainers and coaches and gyms. They're still the bulk of my clients. But for the last year, I've went broad and it's helped revenue. It's helped me, my team get upskilled and keep us excited with different business challenges. And it's certainly going to help us scale a lot further and ultimately make the agency worth a lot more, because we've proved our frameworks and our strategies in different industries. Anyway, if you enjoyed this video, there's another one popped up on screen. Give that a watch as well.